Did you know that 97% of users search online to find local businesses? That means it's more critical than ever to get found in that local search. So let's dive into some tactical ways that can get you more leads from those Google searches. Hey, if you don't know me, I'm Spencer Powell. I'm the CEO over at Builder Funnel, and our marketing agency has helped our clients drive over $150 million in revenue of remodeling projects and custom homes. This channel, Builder Funnel TV, is where we share strategies, tactics, things that have worked for us and our clients in hopes that they help you grow as well. All right, so let's talk about local search and getting found online. So as I said, 97% of users search online to find local businesses. So what we're going to talk about is the local pack. Now, what is the local pack? This is when Google deems a certain search query as local. And so if they think it has local intent, they're going to show the map. You've probably seen this when you search for restaurants or any number of different things. And so Google determines if it has local intent. But this is going to be things like remodeling companies near me, or remodeling company in city, or even just kitchen remodeling company. Google goes, oh, they typed in company, so they're probably looking for a local company to serve them, so we're going to display the map. So when you hear the term local pack, that just means the map comes up and you see all those listings that show up in the Google map, and that will show up above the organic listings that will drop below that map. So there are over 149 factors that go into influencing and ranking higher in the local pack and in local searches. That's a lot. So what we're going to do today is cover the top 7. So if you're going to spend time and energy, you want to focus on the things that are going to influence you the most in ranking higher. So we're going to cover those 7 today. All right, let's dive in. The first one is your primary Google business category. So as you're editing and filling out that profile on the Google business profile settings, you have this section which is categories, and there is a primary category. And so you need to fill this out, and you want it to be the most relevant. A lot of times we get caught up in trying to pick the category that maybe is the most broad, or maybe a category we think that gets more searches. Broad is something to take into consideration, but you really want to pick the most relevant category. And you do want it a little bit more broad because, as you'll see later, we'll talk about some other categories, but for the purposes of step number 1, you want to make sure you have selected a category and that is highly relevant to the work that you do. All right, let's dive into the second one, and that is do not keyword stuff in the title of your business. So you have a spot where you can fill out the name of your business, and some companies are tempted to stuff a bunch of keywords in there. So maybe your company name is ABC Remodeling, and so if you're trying to game the system and stuff a bunch of keywords in there, it might say ABC Remodeling, kitchen remodels, bath remodels, etc. And you try to put in some of those keywords. Google does not like that. That will hurt you. So what you want to do is just where you're putting in your company name, just put your company name. All right, let's go to number 3. This one is proximity of address to the point of search. So if you've ever done a Google search from, say, your home, and then you've done another search from your office, you could actually type in the same keyword phrase and get different results. And the reason is Google is looking at where is the search being done, so that IP address, and then what's around that IP address. So it would benefit you to have an address very close to where you think your target ideal audience is doing their searches. It's not always possible, but it's something to be aware of. So if you have a physical location that is, say, on one part of town, and you do all of your work in another part of town, naturally all the people in that other part of town, when they do searches, if there's a company closer to them, that is a factor in other companies showing up higher. So this is one of those unfortunate factors that is a little bit outside of our control, other than you could move your office. Now that's a big decision. I'm not going to say you should just move your office because of this, but it is a ranking factor to be aware of. All right, let's look at number 4. This is another location-based one. But if you ever have typed into Google just the city name, you'll see that like red line that gets drawn around the city. That's kind of what Google has said, hey, this is kind of the city limits, and they're recognizing that. And so if you have a location for your address for your Google business profile that is outside of that, it is going to be more of an uphill battle to show up in the local pack. Now again, you can rank organically below this, but we're just speaking about the map. And so it's going to be very difficult to show up within the map if your physical location is outside the city limits. All right, number 5 is the removal of spam listings. So if you do a search in your area and you see a bunch of listings show up in the map, you may see some sketchy things going on. You may see some fake businesses. You may click on a business and you see a bunch of information filled out and there's some photos, but then you click on the actual like street view or anything like that and there's nothing there. It's like an empty parking lot. There are companies that try to game the system and they'll create fake listings. They'll also create fake reviews. They'll leave bad fake reviews on other companies. You can report all of these to Google, and it's worth the effort because those things are showing up, but if you can get them removed and they're legitimately not correct or not valid listings, not valid companies, we do want to remove them from the map so that you can move up and displace those people. All right, number 6 is a high numerical rating. So this is just the star rating, right? We go 1 to 5 stars, and 5 being the best. And then you want to be in the high 4s. So this is something that Google looks at. They want to see what your star rating is, and they will rank according to that. Again, it's not the only factor, but it is in the top 7, and so it is very important. I think just from a psychological perspective too, we always look at like a perfect 5-star rating and we're like, they can't be perfect. So I think if you're in that like 4.7 to 4.9 range, that's probably the sweet spot. But again, having a high numerical star rating is a very powerful ranking factor. All right, let's get into the next one, which is number 7, and this is the additional Google business categories. So the first one was the main category. So if you are a home remodeler, you might go broad, and then as your subcategories, you do kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, basements, additions, so on, all the services that you provide. So this is your chance to add all of those specific services, and that's why I said in number 1, you want it to be the most relevant, but you can go a little more broad and then use this one to fill in all of the subcategories. All right, I know we talked about 7, but I'm going to give you a bonus number 8, and this is the quantity of native Google reviews. So the other one we talked about was the star rating. This is the sheer number of reviews. So if you're looking at 5 companies and 4 of them have less than 10 reviews and another one has 50 reviews, it's very clear to Google in terms of weighting. They'll say, hey, there are a lot more reviews over here, and so that adds credibility in their mind and the way they look at it. And so again, it's not the only factor, but when we think about things we can control, getting a lot of Google reviews will help you. So as we look at these top 7 plus the bonus number 8, there are some that are very controllable. We can fill out our profiles completely. We can put the right categories in the most relevant categories. And then we can work on getting lots of reviews and delivering great experiences so we get high star ratings and great numbered reviews from our clients. And then there are some things that are outside of our control, right? With the address and the location and where somebody's searching from. And are we willing to move our physical office or not? And if not, that's okay. It helps in the context of what is controllable and what have I decided is outside of my control. And then it allows you to compete against that, because there are just going to be some situations where one company that is competing with you is just in a better location, or they're in a spot that is closer to where that prospect is doing their search from their IP address, and they might just show up higher. And that is a little bit outside your control, but we can try to compete against that by controlling the controllable. So get tons of reviews, fill out great information on the profile, have a great star rating, and then combat the spam. So hopefully those tips help, and we'll see you next time here on Builder Funnel TV.